We, we talked a little bit about the views and the cameras being used on the Orion spacecraft. And again, we do have GoPros on the tip of each solar array wing. Now, the bandwidth is a little bit limited because having a crew on board, we do have to downlink a lot more data. That includes their environmental control and life support system. We are not the only data, this view that you see, coming down from the spacecraft, and so we do rely on sharing some of that with the other flight controllers in mission control. This helps the team monitor all systems aboard the spacecraft and ensure the safety of our astronauts. We are standing by for a situation report from the crew aboard the spacecraft. They've been imaging the whole moon. There is now a new crew at the window. That would be Victor Glover and Christina Cook. And so being it's their first time since they have moved up to the window positions, they have a chance to orient themselves and describe and take pictures of any color or albedo variations across the surface. Reminder, albedo is the brightness or reflectiveness.
Integrity science for a science sit rep when you're ready.
Houston Integrity, we have no external view of the moon right now for the floating crew members, so my only science sit rep is that we have Victor in window 3 doing observations and Christina in window 2 with the long lens.
Integrity, we copy. Are the shrouds still on windows 1 and 4?
central. And the spacecraft will reach its farthest distance from the Earth. We anticipate that will be about 252,000. They are using the Nikon cameras to photograph the moon, and their PCD, or the portable computing device, to conduct annotations. They are both recording information that will be downlinked to the science crew, and tomorrow morning the science team will have they are using the Nikon cameras while the information is so fresh, and their PCD, they'll be speaking with the crew about their observations and conduct their data collection. They are both how lunar science will be conducted during future Artemis missions. If you're just joining us, the crew is well into their lunar flyby observations, and we anticipate that we will hear from them soon. A few times every hour, they are slated to call down will be conducted during future Artemis missions. We most recently had one from Commander Reed Wiseman. If you're just joining us, the crew is well into their lunar flyby observations, and we anticipate that we will hear from them today to photograph and make annotations of what they were seeing. A few times every hour, they are slated to call down will be conducted during future Artemis missions. We most recently had one from Commander Reed Wiseman. If you're just joining us, the crew is well into their lunar flyby observations. We anticipate that we will hear from them today. They are seeing photograph windows 1 and annotations of what they were seeing. A few times every hour, they are slated to call down windows during future Artemis missions. We most recently had one from Commander Reed Wiseman. If you're just joining us, the crew is well into their lunar flyby observations. We anticipate that we will hear from them today. They are seeing photograph windows 1 and annotations of what they were seeing. A few times every hour, they are slated to call down windows during future Artemis missions. We most recently had one from Commander Reed Wiseman. If you're just joining us, the crew is well into their lunar flyby observations. We anticipate that we will hear from them today. They are seeing photograph windows 1 and annotations of what they were seeing. A few times every hour, they are slated to call down windows during future Artemis missions. We most recently had one from Commander Reed Wiseman. If you're just joining us, the crew is well into their lunar flyby observations. We anticipate that we will hear from them today. They are seeing photograph windows 1 and annotations of what they were seeing. A few times every hour, they are slated to call down the inner solar solar system. The moon also serves as a unique platform for studying the broader universe. Artemis science is designed around questions best answered by humans, working alongside robotic systems, combining decades of robotic lunar data with real-time judgment, context, and adaptability that only humans can provide. This mission, Artemis 2, is serving as a proving ground for lunar science operations, which allows NASA to test how science is planned, executed, and supported during a crewed deep space mission ahead of our future Artemis flights.
Integrity, time for a window team position swap. So Victor and Christina, please switch places if you've not done so already, and remember your SD card for the camera.
We're in the swap right now. They're wrapping up their last comments, and they'll switch over and change cards in the long lens.
Copy.
As you heard in that call, it is now time for the team members at the window to swap positions. That means Victor Glover and Christina Cook will be switching roles. One of them has been photographing the moon with a Nikon with an 80 to 400 millimeter zoom lens, while the other was making annotations on their portable computing device. And both are recording audio that the science team will be able to listen to. We are now 2 hours and 10 minutes until we expect to lose signal with the spacecraft as they fly behind the moon. And the next target for the crew is considered a crew choice event. They have the option to focus on any regions or patterns or features that interest them. The science team has asked the crew to capture pictures that illustrate their choice, as well as at different zoom levels, and to describe why those certain features or regions caught their eye. Those recordings are part of what are being saved on their PCDs, portable computing device that will be sent to the science team for analysis. The crew has been allotted 8 minutes for this crew choice event, and it's also a time for a scheduled sit rep or situation report. So we expect to hear them calling down what they are seeing soon. Something that the crew or that the science team has used to help prepare the crew is a cue card. These ask for a feature ID if they happen to know the type or name, and if it is a target. Of course, in this situation, when they have a crew choice, they do not need to, it may or may not be a target. They want to know the location and the observation style.
They've also asked for the geometry of what's being captured, the size, shape, boundary, and preservation, as well as the color and shadow, so the color tone, the albedo, that reflection or brightness, and any shadows or illumination. Next, they're interested in structure and texture. That includes slopes, structures, and textures, of course, and geologic relations, like association to other features, any contact to those features, and of course, their thoughts, impressions, or interpretations. They are interested even in emotions and excitement that the crew may be having. This flyby day has been practiced in many ways, even in sims here in Mission Control Houston. The team also conducted some field work.
O yüzden de oralarda mesela buz olması, su buzu olması varsa.
They also photographed a large globe,
and the science team helped them determine which features they would be targeting and how to look at those. We have a few more minutes that the crew would be photographing their crew choice. Again, this is NASA astronauts Victor Glover and Christina Cook at the windows. They will then move on to another discussion portion. This is for the far side albedo, that reflectiveness, and color that they are seeing. We heard earlier about some browns seen on the moon, which is very interesting, especially here from Earth, where we are just seeing whites, grays, and maybe even black at some points. When they get into that discussion for far side albedo in a few minutes, the theme is looking to know how that color and albedo is, what those variations look like across the far side. The theme is on the right side of your screen, the Science Evaluation Room, or SIR, where team members are looking real time at what the crew is seeing. And even earlier, we're...
Integrity, ready for science, Zero?
We'll take it.
Okay, the crew has swapped positions. They're in their crew choice element. I've been listening to both of them for a little bit, and they're really enjoying, they both decided to pick the Terminator, and they're spending a lot of time looking at the Terminator.
Just talking about the resolution that they can see, the depth of the craters, and the various interesting and unique excavations that they can see.
So Victor is on the long lens, and Christina is just looking out the window, and I'm sneaking a peek in T-shirt window. It looks like, I don't have the best angle here, but it looks like Aristarchus is on the limb of the moon now. It's amazing how quickly it changes as we speed around the far side of the moon.
Stuff that's leaving our field of view, and now we have a lot of the dark side of the moon that, you know, it's missing for us right now, but it would be in view if it was lit at all.
Jeremy, Science, thanks for that sit rep. Do have a question. A few times we've heard you and the other crew describe change during the course of your flyby. Would be interested in future descriptions of more verbosity about how it's changing. Thanks for the great sit rep.
Yeah, Kelsey, sounds good. We are definitely keeping an eye on that. My eyes have just not readjusted. The moon is so bright when you come back to the window. I was just in the interior of the cabin. I've come back to T-shirt window, and it's just overwhelming brightness, and my viewing angle is a bit challenging. So I won't be able to give you great observations from this window, but I will talk about something that I was talking a lot about in my recordings earlier, which was we've been talking about some shades, and so we have obviously the dark and the light gray, and then we've talked about naming some colors, a brownish hue and a greenish hue. And I'll tell you, like right now, Aristarchus, the plateau is hard for me to see from this window, but that had greenish hues to me and was very unique. I didn't see anything like that anywhere else on this side of the moon. And then I see a lot of these, what I would call brownish hue areas. There's a number of them. And they, for example, in the northwest corner of the highlands,
to me, it looks like the brownish hue is caused by ray or ejected material landing on the highlands, and then we obviously see the ray areas as a lighter albedo, but in between the rays where the deposit would be thinnest, that is what it looks like is causing the brown to me. So I saw that on the northwest side of Aristarchus, or sorry, that dark area of the highlands, northwest side of the highlands. I saw it in the highlands to the east of Glushko, and then I see those same brownish hues west of Oriental, and I drew a contact there on one note, but that's a huge region, kind of like a piece of pie with the point of the pie pointing at Oriental and then going up towards the northern side of Hertzsprung. And that is an area that just looks like that brownish albedo.
That was fantastic, Jeremy. We had heard rumors of the green and brown hues, and so you really read my mind on asking about those. Understand they likely didn't have any contact with each other the way that you described them, but please correct me if I misunderstood that. And then last thing, I'll make the same offer we made to Victor earlier. If it would be helpful for us to verbalize any targets so you can stay at the windows and keep your eyes adjusted to the moon, please let us know.
If you got something you want us to look at, Kelsey, you can send it on up.
Definitely not looking to interrupt your flow, Reed and Jeremy, only offering assistance if you guys want to keep your eyes off of the PCDs.
Oh, I see what you're saying, okay. Not really science related, and we definitely learned this at Apollo, but the thing that is just most fascinating, I think, to me and Victor right now is even as rugged as the far side looks, when you look at Oriental and Home, it's rugged, but man, when you look at the Terminator, it is just like impossibly rugged, and it reminds you that the whole far side is that way, and just the Terminator is really bringing out the shadows and the hills and the valleys, and it's unbelievable. It's like no surface of the Terminator is not marked by meteor impact, and it is very impressive to look at that, and you realize that is true across the whole far side. You just can't see it due to sun illumination right now.
Reed, Houston copies, and we were commenting on the same thing. Even from our view, the Terminator looks absolutely alien because there's just so much texture in there that we're just not used to seeing. So thanks for sharing that with us.
There's also, I don't know the name of it, coming out the south-southwest of Oriental, right on the southern Terminator, is just a massive massive crater. I don't know the name of it. Maybe you can look on the solar array wing video and tell me it's right. It's the southernmost crater you see on the Terminator right now.
We're looking for you. We're loving that picture. Thanks for showing us. And Reed, as an answer to your last question, we believe that that is Chebyshev crater. And the sir agrees with that.
Okay, that picture I was just showing you is an 8X iPhone out the docking hatch for the high grazing angle. It's just amazing.
We love it. Thank you.
This is Artemis Mission Control in Houston, Texas. Mission elapsed time, 4 days, 22 hours, 12 minutes into the flight of Orion. This is Lunar Flyby Day for the crew aboard the spacecraft. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen are now the farthest people to have ever traveled from Earth. This is a live view from inside the spacecraft. They have turned off the lights so they're able to see outside and photograph the moon better with no reflections from inside. And for a very brief moment there.
Integrity Science, thanks for those iPhone views. It's helpful to see what you're seeing.
We very briefly saw NASA astronaut Reed Wiseman showing a picture he took on his phone of the moon. We do expect to get all of the photos that the crew is taking today, and we cannot wait to share some of those with you. But pretty cool in the meantime, just to see one quick shot from what the crew is seeing. And this view from outside the spacecraft on Orion's solar array wing to grow closer. Again, their closest approach will be about 4,066 miles. The best comparison is if you held a basketball at arm's length. That's about what it would look like to the Artemis 2 crew at their closest approach.
This view showing
at the very top, a camera coming from Orion, continuing their flyby of the moon. We have 3 more flyby observation blocks after the completion of this one. Down in the bottom left,